Chuck Deacon's FAC Incorporated. We're here today to talk about a term which designates simulator adaptation syndrome. It's a syndrome that everybody goes through when they drive simulators, whether they're driving simulators or flight simulators, it doesn't matter. So everybody feels sensations. All the studies tell us that 3 to 5% of the population simply cannot drive these systems. But that also tells me as an instructor that 95 to 97% can drive them. If you want to hit the 95 to 97% mark success rate on this, it's up to you as an instructor. Number one, the instructor has to come in with full confidence. You just have to believe in the system. You have to know that the system saves lives. It reduces injuries, reduces liability, and you have to believe in it. One of the things you do is you try to make the room look very high tech. I would turn the lights down. I would have the system already loaded. We'd have a temperature like 65 to 68 degrees. And when they walk into the room, you're always going to get that first response. Oh, it's the best game I've ever been on. It'll be up to you as to whether or not it's a game or a professional training system, you as the instructor. Number two, old school thinking, we allow them to free drive to get used to the system. Don't do it. It's only going to diminish your program. People are going to come in and start driving and tripping, gaming and playing, and it just takes away from everything, and it increases your SAS. So we always stick to acclimation exercises. Acclimation exercises are straight drives in darkened environment when you as the instructor are trying to take away that tunnel vision that the student's going to feel, because look, they've all heard about the system and about the SAS or about getting sick, which by the way, we don't use that 4-letter word anymore. As an instructor, don't use it. Only ask people how they think, what do they think, not how do they feel. We don't want to plant any seeds in these people. So we're going to start off with a simple acclimation exercise. There's no conflict traffic. There's nothing in there that's going to hurt you. Before you get in, we recommend the use of C-bands. We believe in them. We believe they work. A lot of people believe in them. Whether they do or not is not important. It's whether or not the student believes in them and drives through the scenario. So whenever I do them, I always don them for myself. This is a form of acupressure. There's a bump on the end here. You put it facing down on your wrist, three fingers from the break of the wrist. Put it in there. Sometimes they have to take their watches off if they're wearing watches. And what I tell them is, this is going to normalize the feelings and the sensations that you get in a simulator. Everybody gets the sensations, so it's fine. You're going to normalize it. So step on in. Let's drive. That's it. No more talk about that. We're going into the acclimation exercise. Remember, the acclimation exercise has underlining purposes. We always introduce following distance and lane changes and mirror checks prior to driving the acclimation. In this case, we're going to have her go ahead and start the car. We're going to have her pull forward. We're bypassing the mirror checks, but you pull forward 10 feet and stop. This does two things in our simulator. Number one is it reveals a blind spot. Stop right there. Look to your left. Where was Johnny?
Right there.
And where was he before when you didn't see him?
I didn't see him.
Right, because he's behind your A-pillar blind spot. Look in your rear view mirror and the side view mirror, you see old Sarge driving up. Sarge is going to lead her through the acclimation process so she doesn't just start driving all over the city, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a very disciplined response here. So you pull up behind Sarge and he'll start driving. Stay 3 to 5 seconds behind, 3 seconds behind, and use the mirror blinker blind spot when you do your lane changes. While they're driving, remember, students are going to be like this, thinking, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? How do we break up the tunnel vision? In law enforcement, we break it up by scanning and assessing. Whether it's truck driving, transit driving, whatever, you break it up by scanning and assessing. So what I want her to do is I want her to do commentary driving. Tell me your lane change.
Lane changing, I'm looking. Ooh,
mirror blinker blind spot. Yep. And then also I want her to call out the 3-second following distance. So pick an object.
Pick that light post.
Okay. Count it off.
1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000.
So she's pretty close. Again, all this is about is reinforcing some basic training values, but mostly it's getting her used to driving the simulator, normalizing the sensations. So as she continues to drive, I'll either use the radio or I'll ask her a question. Did you see the McDonald's to your left?
I just did.
Other left?
Other left.
Perfect.
No.
Right?
I saw a Shell station to your right.
She's breaking up the tunnel vision, she's scanning and assessing, and now she's no longer focused on the sensations she's going to feel. She's starting to get into character and get into the driving. When we come to a stop at the end, we try to establish some spatial relationships here. We ask them how close they are to the system. She got a little close, but that's okay because we open this up, hit the overhead view, and she can see that she's actually not as close as she thought she was. Okay, very good. So let's put the car in park, step on out. Very, very, very important. Once they step out, always give them a break between their first drive. Every drive you should have a break. But the first thing I ask is, what did you think?
It was hard to keep checking the mirror.
Sure.
The rear view mirror. I don't know, because I don't even know if it doesn't really look like a mirror. I don't know. And then you're in my blind spot.
Right, because I wouldn't normally be standing here. So it doesn't matter what they say. What matters is what you said as the instructor. You don't ask them, how did you feel? Are you going to throw up? Don't do that. Just say, what did you think? Give them the break, step them away, load your next scenario, and move on. As you progress, remember, stick to the simple to complex scenarios. That reinforces and it helps with the SAS. Don't make turns in the first 2 or 3 scenarios if you're not training turns. There's no reason to make them. And the last thing is, always maximize the after-action scenario review. Learning doesn't occur while she's driving. Learning occurs when she steps back, sees herself how she drove, and then we can work on that and make some changes to that and bring that up. So remember, you've got to believe in the system. Don't let the SAS trip your program up or kill your program. If you want to maximize your training, stick to it, walk through the SAS, and stick to these 5 or 6 points.